Alright, looks like we're back on again. Let me just check my audio levels. Everything is good. That's always good to see. So, I'm back with some more Arknights. I sort of got into it a bit yesterday, and I'm in the mood to play some more. Had a bit of a watch of the, was it the story mode? I had a look at the stories in my own time. It's always interesting to see how things go in this game. Amiya gets to do her thing in showing down Wei Yanlu, and in this one we got a bit of W messing around with Tallulah. So we'll see how that turns out at some point. Earlier music, it looks like this stage will get Thermal. Therm EX. Which I have them. I just don't use them very much. He seems like the kind of guy I could probably get to using a bit. There he is. We start getting him some stars and things. Yeah, he's a bit. He's kind of a bit weird to use though, compared to well, all of them really. All robots are a bit tricky to use because sorry, Castle here is pretty good because of this, and I was Lancet too. And 500 healing points is pretty good, and the percentage buff is also pretty nice because it scales with whoever you're putting it with. This one's, I don't know, a bit janky, but you know, inflicting a debuff is always nice. But on the other hand, I think I'd probably bring like Promanix or what's her name? Shamea. If you wanted some debuffs. I'd also rather watching the cutscenes. One of the people looks like lazy. The what do you call it, the raincoat people? I think it was. One of them looks like has like the same kind of horns, which is interesting. I'm not sure if the same person or if they're just like the same race. Yeah, it's also always nice to see a bit of W's story. The Sarkaz stuff is, I don't know, it's just like a really interesting lifestyle, I guess. And that you have this entire culture of people who basically spend all their time being mercenaries. Anyway, I had time to I've leveled up Rosmontis a bit. It also seems like the starting stage here is lower difficulty. Because in the previous one, they were like E2, 10 or 20. But in this one, it's back to E170, which is, I don't know, still pretty high. Anyway. I do kind of wish that the enemy intelligence section would tell you about what you're actually fighting before you play the level. It'd sort of allow you to prepare a lot better, and it'll kind of make like these all-round teams that I like to use sort of, I don't know, less reliable in a way. Well, I wouldn't use them so much because I don't know, if you watch me, I tend to end up using like a pretty similar team all the time. Like I'll have the, you know, 2 vanguards. I'll have like some guards and like Silver Ash and Thorns. I'll have these two healers, and someone who can just sort of mow down waves like AR and Shen and W. This will blow everything up, and then I guess there's like 2 slots for a kind of flex pick. Anyway, this one I'm going to swap Myrtle out back for Bagpipe. Show her off a bit more. I'll swap out W for Responses. Show her off a bit more. That's always good. I'll swap out the Heliga for Mudrock. Show her off a bit more too. Okay, there's gonna be some drones in this one, so I'm gonna bring out. I don't know, Exia is a bit overused. Maybe I'll bring out Greythroat. And swap out Lapland for another sniper. I've been wanting to give Schwartz a bit of a go, so let's give her a bit of a go. I've been wanting to try out her ultimate, and I like to call the skill 3's ultimates a lot of the time. It's just kind of, well, because generally, you don't unlock them until really you've leveled up the character quite a bit, and they tend to just blow everyone up. Let's try out a little reading today. I've been wanting to practice my speaking and voice work, and I keep failing to do it. And yesterday I was, I don't know, a bit late, so I didn't want to read things out too much. I don't know, why not? It'll be a bit of fun. 6:30 p.m. Number 2. Clearance level 8. Dr. Skade, thank you for visiting the Rhodes Island Integrated Bioprocessing Unit. Your intentions have been determined through analysis of available biological data. In addition, the system detects that you are in a bad mood. I'll do my robot voice. Yeah, I'm gonna not say anything. I don't have to read things much. Dr. Skade fell silent. Whether silent protest or refusal to communicate, I believe it is an expression of an autism spectrum disorder. Come on. Please, by all means, the system treats all equally. Welcome home, Doctor. Yeah, well, that's the thing. I know yesterday I was wondering if we were going to get a bit of, I don't know, find out what it was Responses was about, and now she shows up here. Fortunately, she's got like a very soft voice. Are you Dr. Skade? It's you. I'm sure of it. I can feel it. You're a little different. But the person you're holding, that uniform... Because my microphone doesn't pick up my voice particularly well if I'm not projecting really well. Can I ask who's that you're holding? Is she infected too? No, that's not what you meant. Dr. Skade, you seem like you lost something. Oh. I'm sorry. No, it's fine. I'm used to it. Did you want to use this machine? It is. Just a second. Let me check the log. Yes, they cleaned this cabin already. Put her on the slab. Easy now. There. Then the slab will slide in there and wait for it to close and finally press this button. So this must be the incinerator that they were talking about earlier. Yeah. We're going to incinerate, I'm guessing Frost Nova, because she's infected and we don't want her infection to spread. I've had to use it a lot. This is where all of Rhodes Island's infected end up. Well, suddenly a truck and a train go right past the house. And if I knew them, if I felt them, if they were my teammates, I always take care of them myself. The original manual was really complicated, but I wrote down how to use it in my terminal. Just a quick look and I can feel it. It's like a chain. Or I could say it's like seeing the links between people. Sending off the people tied to you means untangling the lines around them. The other ends of the threads are still tied to us, but even when that one side is gone, the threads don't hang down. It feels like you've lost something inside yourself, something you didn't know was there, but knowing it won't come back. Because if you know the feeling, it won't suddenly sting you, right? Excuse me. Identifier for Rosmontis, elite operator present in Rhodes Island Integrated Infected Bioprocessing Unit, will expire in 15 minutes. I will update you momentarily. Stand in place for about 15 seconds. In addition, there is a skirmish taking place by the starboard hull. If possible, please assist after updating your identification code in order to reduce resource consumption. Ah, okay. I'll go do that. I'm making a note of it in my terminal. Reminding you for the 6th time, if you would allow access to this system, it could send the information directly to... No. I am the only one who can use this. Understood. PRTS means me. Pritz? I'm not sure if... Yes, Rosmontis. What about her? I think I should at least know her name. Frostnova. A good name. Hello, Frostnova. Bye-bye. Apparently we've been attacked. I feel like I'm going to come to the point where I find out I've been mispronouncing her name this entire time. It's not like Rosmontis. It's Rosmonti or something. Alright. Let's work out what we're doing here. I first should have paid more attention, but... Okay, so far so good. Got a big cubby boy over there. Okay, let's see how this goes. Oh, that's not good. Alright, backpipe only has block 1. That's where... Oh dear, I'm silly. It's been a long time since I used bagpipe. I usually just go with Texas, because if I end up deploying badly, I can just slap Texas in the back. Oh well, let's see how this goes. What's my range here? Yeah, let's put her back here so that both Aya and Rosmontes can support. Okay, I probably didn't need to do that. I was worried about that drone just going around and not getting hit, but I've got Silver Ash and Thorns here that can sort of pick that up. Well, why not? Okay, so it's a pretty simple level to start things off. Well, it looks like we have more story. Maybe? Yes. Let's it up. Wei Yin-Wu's office. 6:30 p.m. I guess it's must be at the same time, huh? What does Calcit sound like? Correct, Mr. Wei. 32 hours from now, the core city will collide with Longman. Not quite sure about that one. Its urban identification code has not been changed, which means that the core of Chernobog, this nomadic city, is still Ursus territory. So attacking it would be an act of war. Gosh, I had not thought about this before I did it, and I have not worked out what the characters sound like. Reunion holding Ursus hostage like this is the height of absurdity. You're unreasonably calm, Mr. Wei. Did it maybe occur to you what a peace-loving country the Empire is? Ursus expansionism is driven by a lust for wealth, territory, and growth. If it was profitable, the Empire would start a world war without a second thought. They would have done it decades ago. But to provoke a war with Yen, the fact that Yen has not waged a war for centuries does not mean they lack the capacity to fight. But I'd say a militaristic state might struggle to understand what it is that led to Yen's prosperity. A world war would leave both sides devastated. Yen would need a long time to recover, but Ursus, with its myriad internal conflicts, would take it even harder. Ursus is no longer the world-devouring beast it once was. Only fools and madmen would wage a war that is costly, unprofitable, and doomed to fail. I don't know, I kind of want to... part of me wants to go with an older voice for him, but at the same time he kind of looks pretty young. Mr. Wei, as far as I know, fools and madmen are a dime a dozen in the nomadic cities of the world. Weeding out such people is one of my most important duties, and it's a function of the State Council of Ursus. Unhappy Shen noises. Once the State Council responds, we'll implement measures to put a stop to the Chernobog core. The diplomats will handle the rest. Our only responsibility is to take control of this crisis before it gets out of hand. You have that much faith in the Empire? No, I have faith in mutual interest. I feel like I almost got his voice for a second, and then Calcit said something and I got confused again. Fighting war after war teaches bitter lessons, and even though Ursus has won a lot of riches from its wars, it has been unable to fight the internal rot those wars have bred. It has not been able to integrate the peoples and lands it has conquered, and no nation can handle a rebellion while choking down the poison brewed by the mutual crisscrossing hate of its own populace. The Empire of Ursus is a rotting corpse, posturing to look strong. And that is why you believe Ursus will act in its own interests and abide by their deal with you? I have no deal with the chairman of the State Council, verbal or otherwise, but the two of us have about the same amount of sanity left. Fumizuki, send the message for me. I have to make use of this time. Fumizuki? There is another message here, for you. Dr. Calcit, Amiya, Shen, you should hear this too. Fumizuki? You will change your mind when you hear this. I don't think so. If you reject their help again, we'll truly be isolated. Chief Wei, you must act immediately upon receiving this message. What? That's my messenger. The following has been arts encrypted. Mr. Wei, groups 3 and 4 are standing down. We are unable to get to the source of the matter. Oh, deep male voice. I can't even speculate on who the mastermind might be. They were whispering from the parliamentary gallery, laughing at my miserable, helpless performance, but I found no evidence to hold them accountable. If something happens in Chernobyl, you must do everything you can to stop it. Otherwise, who knows what will happen? You have the wisdom and ability to stop it at its source. What we could not do, you must do in our stead. That's the end. I want to hear the rest. The rest is the messenger's soliloquy. He's my messenger, let me hear it. I was unable to meet Shaman Wait, and the messenger he sent to liaise with me was waylaid by unknown forces. Fortunately, that messenger is still safe and sound. The messenger slipped out of deity Grafberg in the dead of night, and someone secretly aided him. I believe there are forces within Ursus vying for supremacy. I was attacked many times on the road after that, and there were many others who tried to protect me. Wit tried to help them. I reached the Ural Rift. No, I got that wrong. I reached the Ural Rift and commandeered a messaging station. What happens now, even I don't know. I hope to make it back to Lungmen, to enjoy the flavors of home once again. How is he now? Unclear if he's alive or dead. It sounds like the chairman of the State Council plans to stand by and see how this plays out. The State Council is at the heart of the Empire, but Chernobyl is out on the periphery now. The borderlands mostly belong to the army, and some remnants of the ancient nobility. The army hasn't had a chance to engage in such operations since the Great Rebellion, but the infected did. The ancient nobility, closely watched as they were, couldn't have planned the Chernobyl incident, but the infected could. Indeed, most of Reunion's infected had no training. They didn't stand a chance against the Ursus Guard and the Chernobyl Riot Police. But a catastrophe did. Chernobyl failed to split the plates in time, and there was nothing they could do against the catastrophe. Reunion had to infiltrate the city early to stop the security forces from mobilizing, while the army ignored their maneuvering. Lungmen and Rhodes Island anticipated Reunion's actions, and the LTD made a plan to annihilate them, but Chernobyl, even to this day, Chernobyl and the Ursus court haven't said a word. Now we know why. Writing off the city and all its inhabitants, Ursus handed Chernobyl over to Reunion. And the infected, who have lived so long on the threshold of death that they no longer fear it, would assume control of the city after the catastrophe. They didn't have to do anything, they just got out of the way. They only had to let it happen. I feel like I should probably do a more, I don't know, Chinese or Japanese accent for Fumizuki. Oh gosh, Namiya. You're still tiny and round. Oh no, I pressed the button and I couldn't read it. Which left the infected heading for Lungmen. No matter who's running Reunion, all the elements were perfectly aligned. Give the order. The sensors must stand down. Use force if necessary. We will prepare for war. We must be absolutely certain we can disable that core before it's too late. And no one is to know of this until the Chernobyl core is stopped. Mr. Wei? You're going to start the war yourself? Fumizuki, you've seen all Lungmen has been through. You must know. My brother wouldn't stand for me starting a war with Ursus. I must take the initiative. We must take control of the situation, even if it costs all of Lungmen. Starting a war means being seen as an aggressor. It makes it more difficult to forge alliances. The first one to enter a state of war is likely to find itself isolated. But the worst part is, no one can know the truth until after the war is over, whatever it might be. Some countries don't even care about the truth. All they want is an excuse. But Mr. Wei, I believe we can achieve peace through diplomatic means. Thank you for the suggestion, Madam Calcit. But I'm afraid Wit and I are the last hope for peace between our two countries. Whether our enemy is the Empire's Third Army or the Emperor of Ursus, this war is going to happen eventually, even if we are certain to win it. Peace is no longer possible. If Wit is too meek to use official channels to put a stop to this, it means he'll face too much resistance and criticism for it, even if it works. He's a politician. He has to look out for himself. Having pushed him this far, the Empire's bureaucracy may be in some state of semi-paralysis. A couple of diversions can hold Ursus hostage, but not Lungmen. This is not Ursus. You're entitled to an emergency response to another moving city. Wouldn't it then be too late to separate the city? If the core is not stopped, the collision will destroy Lungmen, and the conflict that follows will cause further, unfathomable disaster. But to stop the core, firing our guns or sending a Spec Ops team would indeed mean a declaration of war on Ursus. Anything Wit might have been able to do has been cut completely loose by the Chernobyl core. An isolated city, cut off from all communication, left with nothing but an identification codes, needs very little explanation. As you say, Doctor, it's up to Lungmen now. Only we can stop the Chernobyl core. Think carefully, Mr. Wei. There are serious consequences to an act of war. War is serious business, but the other choice, as far as Lungmen is concerned, would be far worse. Mr. Wei, Rhodes Island. I'll go. Miss Shen? Shen? I'll take care of it. You're a Lungmenite. I can leave Lungmen. Superintendent Shen, don't play the hero. This isn't your responsibility. If Lungmen needs a traitor, let it be me. I'm sick of you, Wei Yanwu. You and your precious city. I stopped being a Lungmenite even before you dug your claws into the slums. No, I had a voice a second ago and then I lost it. Now is not the time for a debate on ethics. What did they do? Why did you have to do that to them? What did they do? Tell me, Miss Shen, what did they do? Tell me, where was it Reunion hid themselves? Where was it they snuck into our city? You trust the slum trollers, but do they trust you? Where did that trust come from? Have any of them, aside from your informants, Olin Kohl's ears, reported the infected infiltrating their homes? Things happen so fast, that doesn't mean anything. Did you receive even a single tip? Yes or no? No. Not one. Not a single person stepped up. They don't trust you. They would rather put their faith in foreign provocateurs than the Rat King or the superintendent of the LGD. Maybe Reunion was threatening them. Reunion's infected are known to be violent and dangerous. Did they forget that Lungmen has never raised a hand against them? I don't blame them for supporting each other. In fact, if the infected didn't support each other, if they hated each other instead, the slums would have long since destroyed themselves. But they could have opposed Reunion. They could have come together with the Rat King's people to fight the infiltrators. They could have asked for your help. They don't trust... Exactly. They don't trust you. After all you've done for them, they still don't trust you. We should have sent the LTD into the slums long ago. It was the locals who didn't want the LTD in the slums. They were the ones working against the LTD time and again. Even as Lin Koji and I worked so hard to root out the criminals and foreign agents from the slums, it was those same locals who scoffed at the sacrifices of our soldiers. Was it Lungmen that rejected them? Answer me, Miss Chen. Look me in the eyes and answer me. Oh, he's angry now. It's not their fault. Then whose, pray tell, is it? How many times have I told you, you have the right to your own thoughts and opinions, provided you don't let them affect your work. The LTD is here to protect Lungmen. The Special Inspection Unit is here to guide the LTD to protect Lungmen. The slums you've done so much for have become a vulnerability that could lead to Lungmen's destruction. Reunion has exploited the infected among them to distract us, letting our guard down to Chernobyl. The measures we took to fight off Reunion left us open to this maneuver by the core city. And those infected stood by and did nothing. If Lungmen falls here, it is ultimately by their hand. No. Who should be held responsible for turning Lungmen into a flashpoint? Who is responsible for the lives lost and blood spilled? So much destruction over a few neighborhoods, just because we didn't act in time. When you say act, do you mean... Whose fault is it? Was it Lungmen that rejected them? No. It was they who rejected Lungmen. So you'll dispose of them? Indifference and our lack of vision already destroyed them. I have no reason to care for these people anymore. Shen. We are all tainted with our innumerable mistakes. Everyone makes mistakes. All we can do is fix them, or cover them up for a while. There is always someone who can do what I can't. But for now, I still have things to do. Everyone makes mistakes? I know what you're saying. The infected are a mistake, as long as they exist in the city. Pig-headed girl. Superintendent Shen, I have told you everything. Now do what you must. Alright then. Wei Yanwu. What I must do, what the LGD must do, is name who is at fault, and correct the mistake. It seems that according to your definition, I am at fault. We could also say I am the mistake, because I am an infected. You, Shen? Madam Shen. There is no need to hide it anymore. For 3 years, you've been hiding my infection from the world. Now that the infected have no place in this city, neither do I. Nonsense! She and I are both infected. I don't belong here. I know what I must do, and I won't be making any more mistakes. I am the only one who can stop her. Don't feel bad. I understand. We're sworn brothers, aren't we? Brothers, remember where we came from. Sworn brothers ruined. I am infected, and a traitor to Lungmen. I am the only one who can do this. I hate you, and I hate them. I should love you, but right now I hate every last one of you. Blood relations ruined. We've come this far. All we can do is keep going. Why me? Why does it have to be me? Who could feel safe sitting here? Close family ruined. No. If you leave this office today, Shen Huixie, you will be an enemy of Lungmen. You will never again be allowed to set foot in this city. And after all that we've worked for together for the past 10 years, that will come to nothing. Shang. Everything I worked for came to nothing as soon as you did what you did. Lungmen is about to go up in flames. A battle is upon us. You have your ways, I have mine. The only difference is I'm not like you. I don't think anyone is a mistake. I won't let the city fall, but I won't go in without a plan either. Power is a tool at the end of the day. If you're going to use this tool to tinker with the world, you have to conform to its expectations. Don't make a mockery of yourself, Inspector Shen. Laugh at that, and you're laughing at yourself. I raised you to change it. I hoped that you would change this world to want more than prosperity and growth. So, has it changed? Can it be changed? Does everything I've worked for actually mean anything? Even if it can't now, it must be someday. You're going to make sure it can be changed. Wait, stop. Who are you? You can't go in there. Security! Where are the guards? There's an intruder! Lord Wei, we will act. Get out. Let us act! You shouldn't have come. Wahahaha. Wei Yanwu, that's all it took to show your true colors? Your private army just shows up here in your office? Madam Shen, Lungmen is threatened. Sounds like you have a strong sense of duty. But I don't believe a word you say. If you have something for him, go ahead. Lord Wei, it is within our means to infiltrate the city, kill the mastermind and stop the collision. We shall sacrifice our lives for the city, and lift this burden from thy shoulders. Get out! Lord Wei! How about it, Wei Yanwu? Will you send them, or send me? Is that a tough choice? Why is it you're so decisive when it comes to killing people and so indecisive when it's time to save them? That's how it is now. That's how it was then. I didn't expect a chance at a proper goodbye. I've thought about it many times, Wei Yanwu, but I never expected to give anyone a proper goodbye. Miss Fumizuki, I'm sorry my mum treated you like that. Thank you for looking after me all these years. I've always thought of you as family. Shen? I swear that Fumizuki's only line in this is Shen? Superintendent Shen! Not anymore. This badge, you can have it back. Seize her! You want to fight here first, to decide who's the real traitor? Superintendent Shen, the enemy is at our gates. I'm infected. I'm your greatest enemy. Cease and desist, or I will show you no mercy. Who have you ever shown mercy? Don't sound all high and mighty about things you can't do. Lord Wei, look out! Shishao! Urshi. I'm bad at my Chinese. Brother, if this sword is used to slay dragons, does it also work on Dracos? It just might. Looks like I'll have to be more careful around you. Her arts are overflowing. Doctor, get behind me, I'll block the arts. No, it'll just get torn apart by that kind of power. She's not aiming for us. Get out of her range right now. Okay. Her arts are beginning to expand. Back up. This is a very long cutscene. I kind of wanted to do this because I thought it would be short cutscene. I could sort of like read a few lines for a bit of fun. This is a really big one. Release. The dragon slaying sword, unsheathed. You can block it with just your wrist. Most astute. I see your swordsmanship is sharper than ever, Superintendent. Not Sharperintendent. Tempered originium. Chi Zhao, huh? I think that they're still making weapons like that. Doctor, is that sword specifically forged to fight against energy-based arts? At first, Madame Shen didn't even let me look at that sword. Was she envisioning a situation where I would be an enemy? Out of my way! Lord Wei, the Superintendent has chosen her path. I may not be able to block a second blow. Shall I put my life on the line? Through my death, I assure you that Inspector Shen will remain a long man, though I cannot guarantee that she'll have her limbs intact. I can ensure that she lives. Impermissible. You, fall back. Don't engage her directly. I shall immediately alert my brothers. Planning to call reinforcements. Xishao. Cease! Yeah. Hui Xie, are you going to use the cloud-splitting sword? Some real anime stuff here. Don't forget, who taught you your swordsmanship and your arts? I never once thought to strip you of your swordsmanship, but I will no longer play nice at this point. Don't force my hand, Shen Hui Xie. Do it then, Master Wei. Xi Zhao answers to me. The day you gave me Xi Zhao, did you think I would slay you? I won't use it to spill your blood, Wei Yanwu. You think you're protecting me, right? My mother died to depression. Tallulah was taken away. I contracted oropathy in the course of my work. You think everything you've done was for the sake of protecting me, don't you? Is that because of your guilty conscience or because of your confidence in your own strategies? I don't want to witness another tragedy ever again. Liar! Wei Yanwu, there are those who this sword seeks to kill, and those it seeks to protect. If she truly wishes to destroy Lungmen. No. No, you must not go. I never thought I would beat you in your black cloaks here. But there is more than one way out of here, Wei Yanwu. The window? Shen Hui Xie, stop this foolishness. We're hundreds of meters above the ground. This wouldn't be the first time I've used the window route, or the second. Shen Hui Xie, you must not go to her. Ah, Shen! What am I telling you about Fumizuki's lines? Also, I'm just imagining... I don't know, part of me imagines that thing from Undertale where Papyrus jumps out of the window. Except with Shen. And it's like, oh, I'm out. Jumps out the window. You mustn't repeat the same mistakes. You can't go down the same path we did. If there's anyone who should die for this city, that person should be... Uncle. No, Wei Yanwu, starting today, we are strangers. The sound of glass smashing echoed across the room, and Shen falls face up from the tall building. The Lord of Lungmen let out a thunderous roar, and the man in the black poncho leapt towards the window like an arrow springing from a bowstring. But Shen had already made up her mind. Well, that was way longer than I wanted it to be. Oh, well, it was way longer than I was thinking it was going to be. Guess what you get? You get a bomb. You get a bomb bot. Yeah, I'm gonna drink some water. Yeah, so today, in this story mode stream, I did one level and then read lines for half an hour. And didn't actually use Schwartz. Oh well, we can start up with MEX, which is always nice. Here's a good boy. Okay, let's go level up. Our explosion boy. Do do do. Oh, wait, he's even he's even more bombastic. Oh, okay, so this is gonna scale up and just become really high damage. I wonder if you can buff him up with like, I don't know, like I wonder what happened if you used like Warfarin or like Arc on him to just boost his attack so it becomes really high damage and then blows everyone up. Anyway. Okay, that's enough reading for today. I'll have to go to the bathroom for a second, and then I'll be back in like a minute. And I'm back. Am I back? Let me check my volume levels once again. Yes, I am in fact alive, according to the this little meter thing. I am in fact not dead. Okay, so what do we have here? Oh boy, Mephisto's stuff. That's gonna be. This is an interesting map. So they're gonna come wiggle their way around here, then come up here and just sort of come along like that. Wait, no, this is the map. Why don't we just have all the ranged guards along the top row, and that'll be hilarious. I know there's some spots here for, like, characters to go. And maybe I'll try playing, like, Mudrock here and see what happens. Actually, is there a spot for Schwartz to go? I mean, she could probably be put here and then face down and just sort of shoot things to death. I'll give her a go. Let's pop back. Yeah, the main problem, well, it's been so long since the last level because I ended up reading an entire thing. Um, yeah, the problem I have with bagpipe is that please only lock one. Because if I take, so I was talking a bit about making an all-round team, like I like to do. Um, like I like Siege because there's basically always going to be a lane that has enemies on it. I like putting Texas as my second one because she can go in, like Texas are really flexible. She can go in a lane that like with her second skill, she can go in a lane where the enemies are coming and to sort of fight them normally and use her stun to like defeat them. And if the enemies don't come away, she can still just use her skill to give me DP. It's not as effective as her normal one, the passive skill like Myrtle might be. But going in blind, I don't know what I'll need, and Texas can go either way. So for example, on this map, like I can put Siege up here and then Texas right behind her. And that way Texas will be able to give me DP if the enemies come slowly, or if the enemies are super aggressive, she can use her stun to lock them down. She's super good like that. There's also why I like, I mean, who else is super reliable? I like Shen because of her, well, once you get her second skill up to rank, like expertise 3, she comes in with it fully charged, 20 out of 20, you see? Which means she can instantly use it to clear out pretty much anything, really. And she's far more effective at it than, like, I don't know, like Scatty or Project Red. Like, it's really good. It's a massive lifesaver. So I just kind of like to have her on my blind runs, because if anything goes wrong, I can drop her down and kill things. But, yeah. Somehow, I don't think Rose Monsters is going to be super useful here, but I think overall this team should be, like, kind of alright. Oh boy, more story. Gosh, I like, how do I put it? I kind of like progressing with the story on stream. Like, I want to do the streams and just, like, progress the story, but also, I like reading the story myself. So it looks like no one believes that Jen would actually, like, leave the city. It was the Rat King who was an ass. Okay, so I guess Rose Island is sort of parked next to Lungman. And they're sort of popping out of Lungman onto Rose Island. Zombies. Apparently Rose Montes is just like Rose Island's big badass. I am the orbital strike. I like how they've got all these little sales pitches for all of like the outfits and things in Arknights. It was, I think, especially so during the Maria Noel event where everyone was getting sponsored and they had all these little ads in there for in-universe things. Yeah, apparently it was. Because they're all made from all the outfits in Arknights are made from all natural materials and things like that. I went quiet for a bit there, but it's a very dramatic sort of thing that's going on here. Um, I'm also kind of glad I didn't decide to try and read all this. Are we gonna find out what happened to Shen? What in 9 is? Yeah, it's the other nice thing. The other cool thing about like the Arknights stories and stuff is that all the characters have like their like backstories and friends and things outside of both the main story and also outside of like the obtainable characters. Like Ace, for example. He's like, or like I think particularly with like, the Rose Islands characters, you get like Ace and Scout and those all them. They're kind of like the previous, I don't know, like bunch of elite members. I have a cool motorbike. You know, knowing Arknights, they probably actually designed the motorbike. Like, that's just I don't know, a thing they tend to do. Heck, it's probably like a working version of Hoshiguma's shield. Oh boy. It's always fun when you have things like Annihilation Specialist. Yeah, so apparently Rosmontis has the power of, like, orbital strike, basically. Yeah, I wouldn't, that's kind of neat. I don't know, it's got me thinking about, like, D&D characters, because that's a fun thing. Okay. I mean, so we still don't know very much about her, but we're sort of getting a bit of an impression of how she interacts with everyone. I wonder, like, how many, like, super elite operators Rose Island just has, like, hiding around in their, what do you call it? I think I want to be up here because I can put straws. So I'm gonna be here. There we go. Yeah, press the button. Oh no, it's these guys. I hate them. I hate them so much. Where's Schwartz? Okay, should I attack the thing and then blow them to pieces? I'm not sure if it's because they're up at the top of the screen, but I seem to be having a hard. Oh, that's not good. Hold on, I need a tank. I have no tank. You there, you look like a tanky person. That is not a place where you will draw fire. You, go here. I think what I should have done is put Shining there. Never mind, I'm silly. I could have put Schwartz over here. I am just silly today. Oh well, everything is mostly fine, right? I also put her face in the wrong way. Wait, can she just... Can she actually... No, she can't take that, okay. She cannot quite tank that. Okay, this is a bit interesting. Okay, that's working out. It's still going rather well. I was quite worried. Alright, now Thorns is up to superpower and everything is great. Gosh, I got so thrown off by like all the story stuff that I'm not like commentating very well. Anyway. I mean, I think if I was smart, I probably would have like clustered everyone back here, or nope. I don't know. Probably maybe put them over here, and then just use like Schwartz. Like put Schwartz here instead or something. Alright, here we go. It's time for me to push the button of... Okay, no, you're just gonna stand there and die horribly. Okay. That's fine too, I guess. You can just be there. This is a great time. I'll be over here with my finger on this button here, the Schwartz button, the kill button, or you can just stand there. Okay, you're a cool dude. You can just stand there. Bye. Okay, that happened. Hmm. Gosh, so much plot stuff happening that I. Hmm. Okay, just cut right through the shield or something. Hmm. I wonder where Fumizuki is actually. Well, I don't know. Maybe I just don't know very much about like animals and things. How like they're all implemented into the game. You guys see these? Yes, we are a pharmaceutical company. kind of an interesting thing is that I don't know, the big reunion movement and all that kind of feels very like apocalyptic in this game. But it's also mostly because it's like happening, I guess. Whereas I think if you're reading like a history book or something, it'd probably come up as like, there was a rebellion in Ursus or something. And, probably some details about what happened and stuff, but it's just like, I don't know. It is a thing that like concerns the characters and stuff, I guess. Oh boy. Hey, you know about dead people? I don't know, I kinda wanna like do another level. I'm not sure if I have, I don't know, time, I guess. It's like 6 o'clock, it's 6 PM here. Well, this looks very suspicious. But on the other hand, this looks like a perfect opportunity to just like try out everyone fun. Okay, okay, this level looks fun. I'm gonna do it. Okay. I'm gonna clear the squad. And bring like the funnest characters. Okay, who did I use what? Okay, let's start off with Texas and Siege, who are like a pretty good. No, I think in this one I'm gonna go with Myrtle and Elysium. He's not very high level, but he'll do the job. Okay, it's still like a high level fight, so I'm not sure if I can bring I can bring anyone lower than like these high level characters. Okay, who else? I'm gonna bring Beeswax. Oh, I'm bringing Executor. That'll be great. Yeah. I need some healers. I'm gonna bring Shining and Tosis. I kind of feels like a better way to sort of sort these. Yeah. Oh yeah, I kind of sort them. Okay, I'll select these and then pass the last few slots. We're in Shen. I like Shen. We're in W because this seems like it could be hilarious. Let's try Unixes. And Mostimo. I like never get to use Mostimo. Okay, this is either gonna go amazingly or it's gonna get terribly. Do I have any blockers actually? I have 2. That's probably not gonna work. I need 3. I need at least 3. Who can I drop for another? I suppose I can drop Beeswax. And let's go with Blaze. I don't use Blaze very much either. Like, how to put it? Blaze is like a really good character overall. But I usually, if I need a tank, I usually bring other characters. Like I bring Thorns and Silver Ash because their arts damage is super reliable. Because Blaze can get held up against armored enemies really easily. God, he's still tiny. And if I want a tank, I usually end up bringing like Saria or someone who can, because Saria with some healers and support, like she just won't die. and he blocks 3, and this is kind of great. I don't know, I just like don't end up using Blaze or Spectre as much as I really should, I guess, because you know, block 3 AoE guards is they're pretty strong. I don't know, I really do like Amia as like a protagonist heroine kind of character. I don't know, she's very I don't know, she's the kind of character who is very methodical in trying to do the right thing. And is sort of good at like continually working towards that, despite the fact that everything's blowing up and all the other things are happening. You have to go ahead, Bats. Dorang. Yeah, I don't know. I ended up part of the reason I'm only getting to this chapter at this point is because I was busy, like between all the events, and I just wanted to level up characters mainly. Oh boy. Holy shit, it's been 2 weeks in game. That's the thing. Okay. That's so weird. Okay, so apparently since the start of the game, it's only been 2 weeks. That is a long, big. Apparently everything's just been happening. Everything. It also keeps getting me wondering. Like speaking of, I mentioned earlier about how all these characters have like I don't know, they know other people or have sort of seem to have like lives outside of the characters that are presented in game and so on, and the both in game and like as collectible characters. Uh, it's also kind of interesting to I don't know, sort of get information about the kind of person the Doctor used to be. the play character. Because we get here that like Amir seems to quite, I don't know, look up to him in some ways, but also everyone seems to be kind of wary of him. Like Colset doesn't seem to like him very much. Yeah, Amir's sort of, I don't know, admires him in some ways, but is also kind of scared of him, it seems. And I think we've got some of the other operators have, I don't know, reactions to him. I think it might have been Blaze. I can't remember. Yeah, we've got Firewatch here. Firewatch is another character I'd like to use. Oh god, there's so many characters like using in the game. I suppose all the characters in Arknights speak in a very dramatic kind of way, like stage dramatic, which I mean, on the one hand, you could say it's, you know, not naturalistic, but on the other hand, it's like, I don't know, it's way more interesting to read because a lot of, I don't know, you get like a bunch of games where the conversations are fairly, um, they're very naturalistic, which makes it hard to, well, not hard to, but like, I don't know, it's kind of dry. It makes it a bit tricky to read. And it kind of just comes across that like the writers, you know, didn't really want to write a conversation, but just kind of wrote one to show that the characters talk to each other. Whereas here, there's like, I don't know, there's a lot of themes in Arknights. I mean, one of the big ones is like, you know, acceptance and stuff. And so a lot of the conversations revolve around different characters' points of views about that. Alright, we have like helicopters and stuff. Oh, looks like we might have to end the stream here. Okay, we're back. I think I might just do this level and then end the stream. I have to remember where I was up to. Alright, you gotta drop people out of your aircraft. It's probably how like in game all the characters just fall out of the sky. That's probably this is probably how it happens. You just sort of jump out of an airplane. Alright, here we go. I think. I was doing a level, right? Yes. Yeah, I know these streams have been a bit longer for these story mode ones. It's mostly because I kind of want to get through the story, but at the same time I kind of want to read the story. And it just takes a lot of time. Whereas well, that may have been a mistake. I think I've already messed up. No, I've already messed up. So I pressed the wrong button. Okay, hold on. Let's just restart this, but with like actual. Okay, I wanted to see if I could try using Myrtle and Elysium, but apparently not. I don't know, that's why I don't know using them a lot, because I don't know what the stage is going to be like. But now that I know, I'm just not going to use them ever again. Okay, fine, be like that. I guess I'll just bring Siege in Texas again. Also now know that the first two waves start from the middle and then the top lane, so I can sort of plan for that a little. Yeah, slap down Siege in one and then Texas in the other. And I think that's why it's important to have like your good vanguards. And it's also why like I was talking about earlier, why Texas is so important to a lot of my like blind strats, I guess. But like Blaze is a block 3, so you can just kill everybody. Okay, what do I want to do? Also, extra SP for Sources is always nice to have early on. I think I'm going to put it down here so that he has range. I have to check in case the anyone's getting through. Everyone explodes. That's great. Let's put. Yeah. Yeah, things are going pretty well. I didn't realize how huge Rosmontis is. It's kind of, you can barely see the square behind her. Also, honestly, W's thing is such a low cooldown, I could really just use it whenever I want. Anyway, let's... I don't know, we also have Siege for Shen. Yeah, that's what I mean about this level being. This level looks like a fun level. I'm just gonna fight all the peeps. Against a lot of low levels, like little enemies like this, place is super good. Like, and between W and Rosmontis, Executor, I guess, is also here. You know, just because they were ever going to get past these two. Okay. Yeah, when you don't mess up at the start, apparently that one's pretty straightforward. Okay. Now I'm going to read this little story bit, and then I think that's where we'll end the stream. I don't know, sometimes it's just nice when the game paces itself. Oh, there's story too. Okay. I suppose they wanted to make up for having like the really long parts over the last few bits. Anyway, let's open the little box and then we'll end the stream. Alright, we opened the box, now it's time to end the stream. Alright. Okay, so that's Arknights for today. I think, I don't know. We'll see how things go tomorrow, if I end up doing another one of these streams or not. But anyway, take care and I'll see you next time. Bye bye.